In Queensland, most of us live close to the warm blue waters of the South Pacific. So most days you can find Queenslanders flying over the ocean, travelling under it, looking into it, commuting on it, or dining off it. And most days you'll find people from around the world marvelling at it. At the world's eighth wonder, the Great Barrier Reef, the islands of the Hinchinbrook Passage, Fraser, the planet's greatest sand island, and the endlessly beautiful beaches of southeast Queensland. Queensland is a vast place. Texas fits easily inside our state boundaries twice. Japan 4 times, comfortably. But it's here, in the southeast corner of the state, you'll find the majority of Queenslanders living and working, more than half our population. And here you'll find a growing concentration of industry, agriculture, commerce, leisure options, and an increasing demand for transport infrastructure. Toll roads and bridges are a part of the government's response to those demands. A response that has evolved from 6 decades of toll-funded project experience. In November 1931, Indooroopilly Toll Bridge Limited was formed with the right to levy tolls. The fledgling company's ambition was to build a bridge linking Brisbane's southwestern suburbs to the city. Early in 1936, the sturdy single-span steel suspension bridge opened for business. 6pence for cars, around 5 cents today. The last toll was collected 29 years later in 1965, 6 years short of the company's maximum franchise period. In 1931, another ambitious toll bridge was announced. 99 spans in timber, stretching out over the shallow waters of Bramble Bay to link the bayside communities of Sandgate and Redcliffe. The first tolls on the Hornibrook Highway Bridge were collected in 1935, the last in 1975, when the 40-year franchise expired. By this time, the weathered timber spans were carrying 16,000 vehicles every day. In 1979, a 3-lane concrete bridge replaced the old toll bridge. Back in 1927, the Cross River Commission made a recommendation to the Brisbane City Council which was to have a major impact on the city's style. They proposed a low-level bridge spanning the Brisbane River from historic Kangaroo Point to the heart of the city. In 1940, this handsome steel structure was officially opened, the Story Bridge. The toll was 6pence for a car. But through the war years, traffic over the bridge declined. And by 1945, gross revenue had slumped by more than 15% below projections. In 1947, the Story Bridge became the property of the city and its citizens. And shortly after, the toll was removed. Today, this superb traditional bridge carries more than 70,000 vehicles every day. These toll bridges were built under the provisions of the Tolls on Privately Constructed Road Traffic Facilities Act of 1931, a wordy title for an Act of Parliament thoughtfully drafted to attract private capital for projects which were beyond the capacity of the government of the day to fund. Today, we can thank its provisions for facilities such as the Bramble Island Bridge. Bramble Island fits neatly into the northern end of Brisbane's Moreton Bay. Once it was the haunt of fishermen, hermits, and holidaymakers. Then, in 1954, a bridge was proposed to cross to the island with a projected 500 vehicles a day at 5 shillings each, around 50 cents. In 1963, they cut the ribbon on a 38-span concrete bridge. The toll worked out to be 8 shillings for a car. For a truck, £1, $2 today. Bramble grew, as it still does, and 12 years later, they removed the toll. Nearly a quarter century later, the world's longest concrete box girder bridge opened its toll stations to a projected 12,000 vehicles a day. The gateway's graceful arch soars over the Brisbane River close to the mouth. Strategically positioned in a 42-kilometre city bypass which takes 30 minutes out of the drive from the Brisbane International Airport to the Gold Coast. It also reduces travel time from the city's south to the airport by 16 minutes, shaves 15 minutes off the trip from the northern suburbs to the city's bayside suburbs, and diverts north and southbound heavy transports away from the inner city and Fortitude Valley precincts, reducing air pollution and traffic congestion. Toll charges have increased since the Gateway Bridge opened in 1986, but less than the inflation rate. $1.50 for your car rose to $2, and a large truck will now cost you $10. Daily, around 36,000 vehicles cross the Gateway, including some 3,000 heavy vehicles. The Gateway Toll Bridge is fed by the 42-kilometre Gateway Arterial, a minimum 2-lane Brisbane City bypass completed in 1986. Through the federal government's National Arterial Funding Program, duplication of the Gateway Arterial is under construction. Soon you'll be able to drive from the Gold Coast in the south via the Gateway to Nambour north of Brisbane. Nearly 200 kilometres on a 4-lane highway all the way, without a solitary traffic signal to slow you down. In 1986, the decision was taken to build effectively a southern bypass around Brisbane City. By 1988, the decision became reality. The Quick Link, the 32-kilometre, $77 million Logan motorway, opened to motorists, directly linking for the first time the residential suburbs of the south with the industrial suburbs to the west, and saving 20 minutes on the total trip. This efficient motorway was built by the Logan Motorway Company, who, as owners, have a 30-year franchise on the facility. The company operates 3 toll plazas along a motorway engineered to minimise the impact on adjacent landowners, while undoubtedly contributing to the phenomenal population growth and development of the area. Meanwhile, to the north of Brisbane on the beautiful Sunshine Coast, the coastal arterial between Caloundra and Noosa was groaning under the increasing traffic load. Old residents, new ones, surfers, more tourists, more service trucks, more services. But normal sources could not find the funds to make the much-needed road improvements. Toll funding made it possible. Stage 1 of the Sunshine Motorway opened in January 1991. Its first 18-kilometre stretch runs off the Bruce Highway, part of the nation's Highway 1, through to the Maroochy River, first-class driving for $1 toll. Of course, the viability of toll roads can be threatened by community resistance to paying tolls. In this region, some residents objected vigorously to the toll on the Sunshine Motorway. A handful still do. But the Sunshine Coast community at large has accepted the toll road's obvious benefits. The 1931 legislation, the Tolls on Privately Constructed Road Traffic Facilities Act, and each toll road and bridge proposal put to the government since was based on the justification that strong community demand for better road systems was greater than the government's ability to pay for them from normal sources of funds, and that the community received no benefits from major projects, sometimes considerable inconvenience, until those facilities were totally completed. Also, that the community and potential users could see a clear-cut benefit from toll roads and bridges, and were quite prepared to pay for the benefit. And finally, the tolls were collected to recover costs, which is the case with all the state's toll roads and bridges, and not to manage the demand for economic efficiency. For road authorities, toll facilities are positively beneficial for a number of sound reasons. Large-scale toll projects don't interfere with normal works programs. Toll projects present planners with options, alternatives. For example, the authority may decide not to proceed unless projected cost recovery guarantees the project is viable. Toll systems can be a potent educator, quickly highlighting for the user the real cost of using the family car. All of us get a wider road system choice, more roads, more bridges, more quickly than possible through normal government funding channels. And just as a sophisticated toll road can actually attract business and industry to it, a toll facility can also influence regional growth. improving access and reducing transport costs. Now the user is presented with options. Take the superior toll road or motor along the existing network. Toll facilities are financially attractive because it's the user who services the debt, not the taxpayer at large. Of course, no system is perfect, and toll facilities do have some limitations. Obviously, successful toll systems are mostly limited to those situations with guaranteed high traffic flows. The number of suitable toll projects is limited by the fixed cost of toll collection and the need to control access. If users don't think they're getting value for their toll money, they'll very simply turn their vehicles in the direction of the nearest toll-free road network. Manual toll collection will be with us as long as it takes the community to accept the implications of automatic vehicle identification. Although the efficiency of toll systems is well recognised, the process of toll collection can slow traffic noticeably at peak periods. The objective of toll financing is very simply to recover costs, which does not necessarily lead to economic efficiency. The mere fact that the superior toll facility has a price tag on it can also act as a deterrent to its use. After all, the inferior facility is normally toll-free. Finally, there is a perception on the part of city-dwelling road users that somehow they're paying twice, once through vehicle registration and again through tolls. There are two objectives for the collection of tolls: to recover the costs of operating and maintaining the facility, or to manage the demand, ration the road space. And there are a number of methods to physically collect the money: manually, electronically. And in Queensland, prepaid and account cards common to all three toll roads are now in use, simplifying transactions and reducing collection costs. The Gateway Bridge Company plans to install electronic toll collection when the next generation of electronics comes onto the market 2 years from now. Of course, you can set up toll technology just about anywhere. At the entrance to a city's central business district, it's called cordon pricing. Or at the access to specific facilities, airports for example, it's referred to as point pricing. Or toll charges can be based on only certain sections of a specific facility. Some toll roads employ this system. Road planning in Queensland has historically concentrated on tolls as a mechanism to recover costs. However, while the concept of toll facilities is broadly accepted, the debate on application still exists. There is, for example, a school of thought that argues tolling existing roads would be a more efficient mechanism for financing new roads and new bridges. However, gaining the support of Queensland motorists for a toll on facilities which have been free for many years would seem to be an impossible task. It is a truism amongst road authorities now that a new facility is more likely to be provided where the willingness to pay covers the cost of provision. Building major roads and bridges, toll-funded or not, is an extremely risky business involving a complex process. Environmental assessment, traffic and transport assessment, and land use prediction. And if engineers don't get it right the first time, the whole project can fall over. Toll roads are more complex again because planners are required to justify to the community that the project cannot be financed from normal government funding sources in the foreseeable future. Until now, the Queensland Government has carried the risk for projects like these, but it's developing a taste for proposals which could see the private sector assume that risk in the future. The future. It's waiting just outside your door, and it's bringing change with it. One day soon, very fast trains and high-speed ferries will be competing for a share of the transport dollar. Toll facilities will be just one of the transport modes available to the user. In the future, it's unlikely that funds normally allocated to building major roads and bridges will be adequate to finance the growing demand. Increasingly, toll facilities will be considered favourably as a viable proposition to meet that demand. Indeed, it is entirely possible that tolls may be used in the future as the mechanism to manage the demand and to ration road space. These points should be considered for future toll proposals.